Benjamin Franklin once said, "Beer is living proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy." But as someone who doesn't drink, I feel like Yoga Pants is a better example. What is up, boys? As always, this is Patrick McGuire, Full Primal Power, your mom's favorite powerlifter. We are top 50 in the world, history, whatever, in powerlifting, aiming to crack the top 10 in our next meet in November at the American Pro 3, where we will be going head to head against the King in the North, Justin Zottel. But today is not comp day. It's just another training day, and it's a bench day. And every bench day has to start with breakfast. So we got the bowl, and in the bowl we've got 3 eggs, 180 grams of 93.7 beef, and some ketchup to kind of make me actually want to put this in my mouth. And so 1,000-pound squatter, 600-pound bencher, close to an 800-pound deadlifter. We finally feel less of a fraud because Coach finally put 405 back on the program. Something over 300, because doing things in the 50% was getting a little... It's when things are clicking and things are going really, really well, you really want to push things. But that's why you have a coach. You have a coach because I want to really push things right now, but it's not the time to push things. Having a coach will rein you in, work on the things that you don't want to work on, and will make sure that you're progressing at a rate that is feasible and sustainable, that you won't be biased towards because they've got your best interests at heart, while at the same time having your goals be their goals. So, sorry. I had some coffee too, and that's the first thing I put in my belly today. Actually, the first thing was a little bit of Gatorade to get a little bit of electrolytes in my system so I can hydrate pretty well. But I gotta eat this food, and it's already a little later than I would like to be eating breakfast at. So, ain't nothing to it but to do it. Let's go, boys. And part 2 of breakfast, we've got a bagel with cream cheese. Because let's be honest, eating either a bagel that was previously toasted and cooled down, or eating a non-toasted bagel is worse than answering the astrology questions that the girl you're trying to get with is asking you. Look at how blue that sky is. You best believe we are getting a nice little buddy walk. Buddy, sit. Did you just check in? Oh, good boy. I like to make sure he checks in with me before we proceed after every sit, especially at like street corners. In case he does get out, I want him to be conditioned to sit at every street corner and then have to think, I'm forgetting something if he wants to cross. It's a hopeful kind of idea that probably, but he's never gotten out before. Well, he's gotten out twice. Both times I just go, okay, I'm just going in the car. And buddy goes, ride, and gets in the car along with me. And then I'm like, you stupid, I got you. So, buddy walk. Pre-training meal, boys. We've got 235 grams of Captain Crunch berries. It's supposed to be like 215-ish whatchamacallits, grams. That's the measurement I was looking for. And then about 16 ounces of fat-free Fairlife milk. Very tasty. Haikus are easy, but sometimes they don't make sense. Refrigerator. Get cultured on. If you had a good bench day and you know it, clap your hands. Clap, clap. I'm so creative with the exclamations of how saying that I had a good bench day without saying I had a good bench day. So I looked at my program for the first time when I got into the gym after I finished my pre-fatigue work, which I didn't video because it's ISO holds for 20 seconds and then 0 acceleration push-ups for sets of 10, 30 seconds rest, repeat 6 times. Y'all don't want to see that. And then I also threw in some 5-pound dumbbell fly holds and sunrises to kind of open up the chest a little bit, because I've been having some shoulder and elbow pain on bench day, which means I'm not doing enough with my rehab work to make sure that I don't have pain. But regardless, I still had shoulder pain, but it only popped up like one of the last 2 exercises that I had for the day, and it wasn't even on the first set. So I mean, it's progress. I mean, better only part than the whole, you know. So I checked my program for the first time, and for the past, 8 weeks, we've been doing Larson presses. And I saw on my program today, paused bench press. I immediately sent my coach, "Are you giving me permission to use my legs once again?" And he said, "Yeah." And I just responded with, "Yabba dabba doo." I didn't say that. I just sent a gif of Fred Flintstone saying that. And that was my best Fred Flintstone impression. I will never do that again, unless you ask for it. And yes, I did get enough comments saying put my seatbelt on that I'm recording this while driving with my seatbelt on. And I'm not looking at the phone whatsoever. It's almost like a voice recorder going on. We're being safe out here, boys. So we got programmed. All I knew was it was 405. I didn't know up until I checked and saw that it was regular paused bench for 405, 3x5. First set, I forgot my hand cues because I was like, all right, we got to be using our legs right. We used our legs right, we forgot our hand cues, and that made the descent much slower. But so when I don't have my lats and pecs engaged on the bench, everything goes to my triceps, and it brings it down really, really slow. It's my triceps and pec minor, and they get really inflamed and really grotesquely feeling really fast whenever I train bench, and I forget my hand cues. And since we've implemented hand cues, which is spread the bar and bend the bar, doing them simultaneously, I practice doing chaos bench, which is the perfect time to practice them because you got the feedback from the band that you're doing chaos bench with. I started practicing them, or the new cues, last training cycle before the Ghost Clash 3, and it's finally starting to be not no-brainer, but like implemented into the muscle memory, and it brings my descent down much better, much faster, so I've got less time under tension, and I'm able to be a little more powerful. So I think we've gotten over that initial dip in strength that usually occurs whenever you add or change something, a new cue, or changing the way that you go about things. With the Larson presses, my touch position was a little nipplier than when I'm doing regular bench, so we had to get reused to the regular touch position somewhere on the top ab and not at the under boob, you know. And that took some getting used to during the warm-ups. But set 1, forgot those cues. It was a little slow. Set 2, remembered all the cues. And the fact that I can do 5 reps with an unrack and re-rack in 23 seconds, that's good news. So, and with a pause at the bottom. So, what was it? 5 reps. So it's about 4 seconds each. With the full lockout. Not jingling the bells like we do with pulse presses and all my warm-ups, because when it's light, I shouldn't do this, but I should clean it up. But I kind of just rush the lockout when things are light, and I just tap the lockout almost. Whereas when it gets heavier, I control the lockout a little bit better, practice as if I'm on the platform. So like Ed Cohn said, the way you do one thing is the way that you do everything. So treat the lightweights like you treat the heavyweights. So I need to be a little bit better and clean that up a little bit in my warm-ups. Even though I get impatient in my warm-ups because I get really excited to do the work that I'm about to do for the day. Set 3, same as set 2, maybe a little slower, but still, all in all, really good bench day. Felt really light, felt like an empty bar, to be honest. I probably could have done all 15 reps in one set if I had remembered my hand cues on set 1. It would have been fine, but that wasn't programmed, so we didn't do that. We had 3 minutes rest in between, and you may say, wow, that's a long time. Time your rest periods, and then you'll say, oh, that's not a long time. So we moved on to the incline bench, the incline dumbbell bench with the 125s. With the increased load from the regular bench, it made these way harder for absolutely no reason. Or it was because it was 85 in the gym and it's humid because it's supposed to storm tomorrow. So the gym was a little moist. My shirt was moist. My entire body was glistening. And that's not too... warm gyms and super heavies don't go together. I was going to say, why do you think there are no super heavies in the South? And then I remember Dan Bell, Jesus Olivares, Craig Foster. Those are really all the super heavies that matter. Garrett Denham, JP Carroll. Yeah, those are all the super heavies that really matter, are relevant. Because, I mean, let's be honest, the public perception of super heavies is, I bet I could do that too if I were 400 pounds. Then do it. If it was that easy, everyone at 400 pounds would be doing it, you know? Not just like 4 or 5, you know? But, they all live in the South. I'm the only super heavy, other than if Justin Zottel, well, I mean, he weighed in 310 the other day, so he's a super heavy. Officially a large mammal, not a victim weight anymore. He's trying to compete heavier than me just so that he can tell me that I'm small. We'll see how that affects his deadlift. Chances are it's going to affect his squat and bench positively, negatively affect the deadlift, which is a thing that happens to everyone, not just super heavies. When you gain weight, your deadlift dies, but your squat and bench goes up. A little insider trick there. So, incline bench, those were a little harder than expected. We did move up to the 125s. I believe it was last week or the week before. So we're still getting used to the increased load. So it's supposed to be an RPE 7, but it's probably closer to an RPE 8. And that's right where we want to be. Get that adaptation to stimulus and increase strength. Moving on to the incline dumbbell skull crushers. Because last week, was it last week or was it last week and the week before? My elbows were a little trashed. So we reduced the load and we're getting right back into where the load was for before my elbows felt trashed. And so we used the 35s and we made sure to get a pretty good stretch going, moving with the skull crushers, the dumbbell skull crushers, getting a good tricep stretch to kind of stretch the triceps out a little better so that we can have a lot less tension, more elasticity in the triceps, a lot less tension wrapping around the elbow to reduce that elbow inflammation. Those were a little harder. Everything today was a little harder than it's been. May have been the temperature, may have been the humidity, may have been a host of other factors. My mental well-being is on the uprise, so we're doing better. So whatever's going on, at least bench is clicking. At least squat, bench, and deadlift are clicking, and they are getting better. And that's really all that we want. It's really all that matters, that we care about. And then we did a superset cable flies, and that was sets of 3x20 cable flies with the or bent over cable flies, where we wanted the cable attachment above us so that we were kind of going down. And that actually isolated the shoulder a little bit, and I got some hypoxic response in only one of my shoulders. And it was the shoulder that I mentioned earlier that was feeling a little grumpy. So not too good. Not too happy about that. So we supersetted that with close grip. Or I don't really know how to do close grip push-ups. I just bring my hands in a little bit. Whether or not it's actually good or not, I don't know. But it was 3x20x20, 90 seconds rest. So we blew through that using... Our cable machine is pulley system. There's a one of my clients, it has a PhD in astrophysics, so he's really in tune to physics. And he says that there's like a doubling factor going on with the weights on, because of the way that the pulleys are, or something about that. I don't know. So we had 25s on each side. So it could have been 50s. I don't really know. I was never really good at pulley physics when I was in physics class, or at least multi-pulley physics systems. That wasn't in physics 1. But moving forward, we did dumbbell curls, and we lost the shirt before the chest flies and push-ups, because that shirt was like I just went down Splash Mountain. It was so moist, it was so wet. It was grody, and it was sticking to everything. And I was like, I cannot deal with this texture right now. This is coming off, which is weird because the shirt usually only comes off on squat and deadlift days. But this summer is getting pretty. Is it summer yet? June 21st is the summer solstice, isn't it? You can't do legs on the summer solstice. Dom Mazzetti said so. No, there's the summer equinox. I don't know. But it's hot. It's been in the 80s in the gym, and being 341 pounds as of this morning, we're up from 328 at the Ghost Clash 3, being 341 right now. Summer is not the time that you want to be bulking. Summer is the hardest time to bulk, and made the heat and the humidity made everything a little bit more difficult. And that's one of the variables that you don't really consider, but you have to when you're thinking about things, is the environment and the humidity, the temperature and everything going on there. You got to stay hydrated. I went through about 3/4 of a gallon worth of liquids just training today, which means I need to be better at hydrating when I'm not training, and so that I'm better prepared for when I am training. Another variable. I like to bench in shirts without sleeves, so think of it like this. If you have sleeves on, right, you've got friction in your armpit of the sleeves. But if you have a shirt that's too small, you have a little bit of elasticity throughout the shirt. So it's not like, oh, it's almost like a single ply bench shirt, because no cotton t-shirt's going to give you that much rebound. But the compression of a shirt tightening over yourself, it's nothing like a slingshot, but it's something to consider, and it's beneficial for you to be benching in a tight t-shirt. A lot of federations require you to wear a t-shirt when benching, so just wear a tighter t-shirt than you're used to. It's not against the rules. It's not cheating. Everyone does it. But if you think about it, when it's hot and it's sweaty and you've got less friction because you're moist and your body is glistening, and you've got sweat all over yourself, and as long as you're in contact with the bench, you're going to have reduced friction, and it's going to be a little bit harder to control the bar because you have less friction in your armpit and your arms against your body. And that's something that I learned, I think it was around the time that I benched 600 for the first time. My coach was at the time was making fun of me for benching with I think I forgot what he said his bench in a shirt was, because he was a multiply lifter, and I was like, I'm not gay, I'm taking my shirt off and I'm gonna do this in not a t-shirt. And then I didn't. Bad day. But it's one of those variables that you don't think about, but when you, the stronger you get, the less margin you have for errors. So it's one of those variables that you got to think about and practice. because everyone likes to look good in the mirror at the gym. You get a good pump on a bench day. You get a great arm pump. You get shoulder pump, bicep pump, tricep pump. You want to wear a stringer. But on the platform, you're not wearing a stringer. You're wearing a t-shirt. So it's best to train the way that you compete. So, I mean, if you're that high up in the rankings that you have to consider what type of t-shirt you're wearing, I just prefer to bench with no sleeves. I like looking good in the mirror. I like, it's ugh. Why does being good have to come at the cost of being fun sometimes? But winning is fun. What was it? The Patriots. There was a player who left the Patriots a while ago, and he was talking about the Patriot way and how football wasn't fun anymore. And Julian Edelman clapped back and he said, "Winning is fun." And yeah. So, anyways, I've been droning on for 16 straight minutes. Y'all are probably tired of me. I'm at the store. I'm at Market Basket. Demoulas. If you don't know what Market Basket is, you're not from New England, you wouldn't understand. They do not have a single self-checkout at Market Basket. Not going to say anything else. It's just all the prices are lower because everyone goes there. And they always have enough. I almost said they always have enough registers open, but sometimes they have every single register open and there's still lines because it's just so popular. And what it is a lot of their produce it cycles out faster because there's so many people going there. So they have lower prices on them, but the quality is higher because it's fresher. So it's not just sitting there for a couple days, Anyways, I gotta go do some shopping. The haul: 6 pounds of beef, 2 boxes of pasta, Gatorade powder, water, coffee creamer, sauerkraut, pasta sauce, bananas, fat-free Fairlife milk, guacamole, and a couple things for other people, like the cheese, and hamburger buns, and there's some more cheese. Okay, that second cheese is for me. I'm an addict. Groceries cost $80. Oh, you gotta love inflation, don't you? For a handful of items. Back in the day, ignore that. A week's worth of groceries, having a T-bone a day was $100. Back in 2020. Week's worth of groceries with a T-bone every day, $100. Now that's anyways. I just started the Night by Will White. The worst book cover for a Will White book I've ever seen. But that's probably because Will knows his audience, and they're not gonna care what the book cover looks like. And he's just like, hey, they're gonna buy it anyways because it's gonna be a great book. So I'm gonna stop talking to you guys and listen to The Night by Will White. Boys, we have the bowl. We've got 220 grams of 93.7 beef, 400 grams of rice, a bit of Himalayan pink salt for a lure, razzle dazzle. Ooh, that was not a good one. And it's supposed to be 70 grams of guacamole, but it's actually 90. That's not what's important though, boys. There's a serious situation. So, Marvel changed Spider-Man, right? They went from Peter Parker, who I grew up with, straight white guy, to Miles Morales, who's, when I heard about him changing, what was it? They said he was a Hispanic black guy. So, I don't know. I haven't seen the modern Spider-Man stuff, but my nephew, right? My nephew's favorite Spider-Man is Miles Morales. And if you think about it, giving the African American community a Spider-Man is really good for the kids because it teaches them that they too can be superheroes. Gives them another thing, which is it's why they changed Ariel in The Little Mermaid to a black chick, which that's fine, whatever. It's fictional characters, who cares? What matters, right? Because we're thinking this universe, the world that we live in. But what about the world that Miles Morales lives in? No one, no kids reading the newspapers or hearing their parents talk about Spider-Man knows that Spider-Man is black. He's got the black suit. He's super cool. I could get down with that. I would wear that suit if I had the opportunity to. Let's be honest, the red and black, meh. The black and red and the white, tasteful usage of black. That being said, no kid in that universe knows that Spider-Man's black. Spider-Man needs to start dropping the N-word. It'll teach the kids, hey, Spider-Man is black. He can't just go out there being like, hey guys, local black superhero coming in to save that. No. He's like, I got you, ma, and then he drops it. What do you guys think about that? Is the fact that he doesn't use the N-word when he saves people, is that a disservice to the blacks in the Marvel universe? He's got to represent a little better in universe. I mean, outside the universe, everyone knows that he's Miles Morales, but in universe, no one knows. He needs to be that role model for the black kids out there. They need to know that they have a superhero just like them, so that they can grow up to be super people, super good people, like Miles Morales. Little thought there. That'll probably get me canceled if I ever get popular enough. But is it wrong? Let me know. And we got the last thing we're going to be eating today, 2 bagels with cream cheese. Well, I mean, we're also going to have a protein shake with extra protein and protein as well. But I'm going to edit this video to get it out to you guys tonight. And 2 bagels, that's what I'm eating. So, like the video, leave a like, share it with your friends. If you don't have any friends, welcome to the club. And, I mean, you could just send it to your mom, but she's already watching. Anyways, Patty out.